If you like to make your NFL games a little bit more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby, Vegas. It is the Even Money Podcast. We are, of course, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years, back in the 2000s, which is sounding longer and longer ago at this point. Those of you that check us out on YouTube, and there's a lot of you, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL, you can see or tell or whatever that I'm not in my home office studio thing today. That's because I am in Kent, Ohio. I'm on the call tonight for some action. It's time for some action. Akron at Kent State, 7 p.m. Eastern. CBS Sports Network here on Tuesday night. They are playing for the wagon wheel. It is a huge game. Very much looking forward to it. One of the coolest rivalries, definitely in the MAC and really all of FBS football. So anyway, that's why I don't have the same normal pretty background that I normally do. Check me out at Ross Tucker NFL on social media if you want to see what kind of food they are rolling with tonight in Kent, Ohio at Dick's, D-I-X Stadium. Or you should always follow me at Ross Tucker NFL anywhere. At Ross Tucker Pod is what we are. He is at Fezzik Sports. Name is Steve Fezzik. I say this all the time. I'll say it again. At Fezzik Sports and only at Fezzik Sports. Except no substitutes. He's only at pregame.com. He doesn't have his own website. Don't get scammed by that scammer who somehow continues to do this to some people. It's awful. What's not awful is getting a chance to see our beautiful spreadsheet every single week with all of our bets on it from our Australian sensation grades. You can see the line, the total, the score, our leans. He has the leans on there, our return on investment, our outlay, our return, our balance, our strike rate. It is absolutely spectacular. We love Grades for doing it. Thank you so much, Grades, for doing it. We got a lot more people that are checking it out. Patreon.com/RTmedia. Become a Tuckheads member. Kate Lewis, Anthony Prestano, Jason Yang, just 3 of the latest people to join the family of Tuckheads over at patreon.com/RTmedia. We do the same thing every week, at least during the season, although more of you need to learn to watch or listen in the off season. But we quickly go over our bets from the week before so that we can keep each other honest. And then we give you our bets for this week, week 12 in the NFL. So it started off badly for me, Steve. I had the Commanders getting 3.5 on Thursday night for 2 units. But they were winning a lot. And if Dan Quinn kicked the field goal, they would have gone back up by 1. Instead, they lose by 8, 26-18. They also had no sense of urgency at the end of the game when they were only down 2 scores. Very, very disappointed, Steve, in Dan Quinn's coaching in that game.
Well, I don't want to throw your fellow broadcasters under the bus, but I believe it was Al Michaels. You know, they were down 16, and they had no urgency either with 3 minutes saying, well, game's over. It's done. So I'm not doing the math that it was still a 2-possession game. So no one in the stadium seemed to realize Washington still indeed did have a chance.
Oh, I did. And I was talking about it a lot on radio with Ian Eagle. I don't know what the TV guys were saying, but they did. It was bad. And how about, Steve, we don't talk about this often, Quinyon Mitchell, this almost maybe a Pro Bowl rookie for the Eagles, he totally locked up your guy Terry McLaurin with that same game parlay you had.
Yeah, I had Eagles and McLaurin, and Scary Terry was a non-factor. A lesson learned, just a tremendous lockdown job on him.
All right, Vikings, Titans, we both leaned Vikings, and that came through for us. They were laying 6. They won by 10. Packers Bears. Steve, we called it. Put 2 units on the under 41.5. Game finished 20-19. That blocked field goal, Steve. That blocked field goal saved us on the under. That is incredible.
Yeah, there was a lot of offense in that game. I was shocked. The Bears' offense was actually quite good against Green Bay, and Green Bay had plenty of offense. We got lucky to win that one.
Very fortunate. The next game, though, was our crowning moment of the week. DraftKings crowning moments are presented by DraftKings. Submit your winning bets for a chance to be featured. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Steve, we both talked about it. Every Ravens-Steelers game is the same. We thought it was ludicrous that they were giving us 3.5 with the Steelers. Every game ends by 3 points or less. Steelers ended up winning by 2 points. Steelers plus 3.5 was an easy winner for us last week in our crowning moment from DraftKings.
Yeah, and next year there'll probably be another opportunity. And one thing I regret is not playing the under, because these games, every one of these games is 18-16, 20-17. Doesn't matter what the specifics are. When these teams play, the series history dominates.
Yeah, they play again this year in Baltimore. So I will be taking whoever's getting 3 or more, and I will be taking the under. I can tell you that much right now. You lean to the Lions laying the 13. They annihilated the Jags. We both had another best bet, Steve. So we were very good on our best bets, other than the teasers, which we'll get to. But on the best bets, we had the Colts getting 3.5 against the Jets. They won outright. We also had the Patriots getting 4.5 against the Rams. They lost by 6. That was kind of a bad beat, Steve. I feel like we were on the right side there.
Patriots are playing with a whole lot of effort. I would say the one theme of this week we're talking about, be careful with dead teams. We got a whole bunch of teams that could still get the number 1 pick in the draft. You got to wonder, obviously, the Giants front and center. But how many of these teams organizationally are motivated to really win?
Raiders, Dolphins, the game I called for CBS. By the way, I'll be doing Texans, Titans this week. Dolphins were laying 7.5, so I made them one of my teaser legs, and that was a teaser leg that did come through. Out of my 4 teaser legs, unfortunately, only 2 came through, so it was not a good week for our Wong teasers, unfortunately. You took the Raiders getting the 7.5, Steve, which I think was actually a pretty good bet. I mean, they ended up not covering. It was 34-19 because they totally dropped a coverage, but the Raiders were right there for most of the game. You put 2 units on that. That was a loser. Speaking of losers, we both leaned towards laying the 6.5 with the Niners against the Seahawks. Steve, they lost outright as a 6.5 home favorite to the Seahawks.
I'm going to say it. The Niners are going to miss the playoffs. Too many division games that they've squandered, that they could have won, that they didn't, that they should have won, and they didn't. I'm not even sure they should have won this game. By the way, at the end of the game, the Niners, when you're up 3, don't even think about kicking a field goal. Put the other team away. That's the way to go. I was like Buffalo, Kansas City when they were up 2. There's no question. Just step on their throat. Don't keep a one-possession game a one-possession game. It's so hard with a tired defense to stop an offense in the final 2 minutes.
Interesting. So that's what happened. The Niners, I didn't see that part of it. The Niners kicked the field goal to go up.
Yeah, they had like a 4th and 5, and they instead of choosing to play for the win, they said, we just got to keep Seattle out of the end zone. I think they might have punted, but I can't recall. But they had a 4th and 5. They didn't go for it.
Got it. Okay. Falcons, Broncos. We both had the Falcons as a teaser leg up to +8 after the way they had lost to the Saints. Boy, were we wrong. They got absolutely blasted by the Broncos. You had the over 44, Steve. The Broncos scored 38 points, and you pushed. It finished 38-6. That is crazy. Chiefs, Bills, speaking of crazy, you nailed the under. You lost the under. It ended up being 30-21. You had under 45.5. And also, we had the Chiefs as a teaser leg up to 8.5. I cannot believe the Chiefs lost by 9 and didn't cover the teaser leg. What happened, Steve, is only 2 of my 4 teaser legs, the Texans and the Dolphins, came through. So it was a bad week for the teaser legs, in particular because of the Chiefs giving up that touchdown late.
And even after, they're fine. I mean, this Mahomes always scores in this situation. You just need a field goal to cover the teaser down 9. Big favorite for them to get there. If you didn't watch the end game, Mahomes scrambles into field goal range, and then we got hit with the holding call, and we were donezo.
Yep, saw that. Chargers, Bengals, you had the over, Steve, for 2 units, 46.5. That hit easily. Texans, Cowboys, we both teased the Texans down to -1. That hit. So for the week, it was not a great week. We're both down 6 units. On our best bets, 3 and 4. That's primarily the teasers. We were 0-3 on the teasers. For the year, I'm up 27 units. You are up 16.5 units. We are 46, 33, and 3 on our best bets. That is a 56% strike rate. We move on to week 12 in the NFL. Steve, we are 8 days away, by the way, from me giving my wife her favorite gift, which is 2 brand new doors. I got the guys from westshorehome.com/Ross. They're coming to the house on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. You know, I got the front door before. I've done a couple showers through them too, but I got the front door done before. Now I got to get the other 2 doors, the side garage door and my detached garage studio door. Cannot wait. I got free installation plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Steve, you or anybody, any of our listeners, you guys can get showers only. They're guaranteeing install by Christmas or it's free. That might be one of the coolest surprise gifts I've heard that you can get for your wife. westshorehome.com/Ross to redeem it. westshorehome.com/Ross. That's awesome. Speaking of that, after you do that, Steve, your wife will be so happy to drink some Labatt Blue Lights with you and celebrate your new showers. Thanks to West Shore Home. Always enjoy Labatt Blue Lights responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All right, Steve, let's start. Steelers, Browns. Steelers are laying 3.5 Thursday night against the Browns. Total is a low 36.
Like I said, let's be careful this time of year. There's a whole bunch of teams that organizationally have questionable motivation. They're done. Dream Crusher, Cleveland's one of them. That was bad against New Orleans last week, that effort. So I'm not going to play Cleveland. Normally we look to play a division home dog. I'll lean under. The weather's going to be terrible. Shocker. Terrible weather in Cleveland this time of year. So I'll lean under.
It is a lean to Cleveland for me. Because I think they're going to come out and play much, much better. Primetime game, home game against bitter division rival. But I just can't do it in terms of actually betting it. What about the Lions? They're playing in Indianapolis. They are laying 7.5. The total is 50.5, Steve.
Well, the Lions are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I've got them as the best team with margin over everybody else. They're 2 points better than Baltimore, my number 2 team. So, love Detroit. I'm supposed to take Indy as a home dog, but you know what? I make this game 9. So, Detroit's going to be the first of 4 teaser legs I'm going to round robin this week. We're going to tease Detroit down.
I am with you on teasing the Lions down to -1.5. At this point, I kind of will believe they lose a game when they do, although they should have lost that Texans game, but that's a whole other story. I'm with you. I do think Anthony Richardson looked much, much better, and that gives the Colts a real chance in this one. I still, though, love the Lions as a teaser leg, down to -1.5. What about the Chiefs and the Panthers? It's in Carolina. Carolina has 2 wins and then a bye. The total's 41.5. The Panthers are getting 10.5 at home, Steve.
So it's just going to be a lean because I'm getting the lowest line on the screen. It's 11 everywhere else. DraftKings is telling you Carolina's the right side, however. So strong lean to Carolina. All KC does is win and not cover, typically. I don't see why this game's going to be any different. Lean Carolina.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put 1 unit on Carolina. I feel like they're gonna cover that spread. I don't have enough conviction to go 2 units. What about the Bucks against the Giants? The total's 41.5. The Giants are getting 5 points at home with the new quarterback, Steve.
Yeah, so Danny DeVito, I had him, Tommy DeVito. I had him as like the worst starting quarterback ever last year. 6 points worse than an average quarterback. He had a couple good games, and he got an upgrade, and then a couple bad games. He's not a starting quarterback. Drew Lock should be the quarterback. The organization is tanking. They don't want to win. Clearly, you're paying Drew Lock $5 million. This is crazy. So because of that, that number looks ridiculous. But after my adjustments for quarterback, I make the game 4.5, and I wonder how the Giants players don't tank. Maybe they'll bring an inspired effort. I'll lean Giants. No play.
So I'm going to take the Giants, and I'm going to take the Giants for 2 units because I hear what you're saying about Tommy DeVito, but I do think in this game he's going to give them a spark that they need. So I'm going to take the Giants and those 5 points, and I'm going to take them for 2 units. I think this is going to be a close game where they get the new quarterback boost, if you will. 2 units, Giants. What about the Patriots? They are getting 7 points on the road against the Dolphins. Total's 46, Steve.
Yeah, I make it 8.5, so this is easy. Miami, they were just laying 7 against the Raiders, and they got there. And I got the Raiders better than New England, so I'm going to tease second leg that I'm using in my teasers. I'm going to tease Miami.
I agree. We're not going through the 7, but I'm with the Dolphins down to -1 as a teaser leg. So I'm guessing we're going to have the same exact 4 teaser legs, but at any rate, that's the best bet, pairing the Lions and the Dolphins, those 2 teaser legs. Dolphins are playing pretty well right now. I can't envision them losing at home to Drake May and the Patriots, even though Drake's playing pretty well. What about the Vikings laying 3.5 on the road in Chicago? Totals 39.5, Steve.
All right, I'm going to pass. I was thinking about taking the Bears, but here's why I'm not. I don't think there's that much of a difference at all between Green Bay and Minnesota. And just a few days ago, Green Bay was laying 6 at Chicago, and now Minnesota's laying 3.5. So you're getting a much reduced price with your Bears plus the points. I get it. Looks like they fixed the offense. Looks like Caleb Williams is finally using his wheels to help run the ball and help the offense. I'll lean Chicago.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put a couple units on the Bears, getting the 3.5. I thought they looked much better offensively. Now the concern here is Caleb Williams against Vikings D coordinator Brian Flores and his blitz scheme against a rookie. You know, there could be some ugly turnovers, so that is concerning to me. But I just think this is going to be a close game. I think the Bears are feeling like they can win these games now. So 2 units, Bears, getting 3.5. What about the game I'll be calling for CBS, Steve? It's the Titans and the Texans, the old Oilers. The Texans are laying 8. Totals 42. Seemed like a pretty obvious teaser leg to me, Steve, to take the Texans down to -2 to win the game, even if it's close.
Yep, and Houston is in my teaser portfolio. By the way, if you don't want to round robin the teaser and you just want to go all in and shove with one team, this is my favorite of the teasers, but I'm just going to wheel them and round robin them.
Got it. So that's 3 of us, 3 teaser legs that you and I are on the same page on. What about the Cowboys? Saw them last night against the Texans. They're getting 10.5 on the road against the Commanders. The total is 45.5, Steve.
Yep, and I want no part of these Cowboys' historic bad performance at home where they keep going down by 20-plus points. That's a dead team. And now McCarthy's saying he made a mistake. He should give Trey Lance some playing time in the fourth quarter. Goodness. That's not the dog I want. I'll lean Washington.
Wow. All right, I'm putting 1 unit on the Cowboys. I don't know. Are they just tempting me? What are they doing here, Steve? When I see that plus 10.5, and it felt like the Cowboys played better last night, it's hard for me not to put something on getting the 10.5.
Absolutely. You know what? A double-digit dog has not covered all year long in the NFL. There's only been 4 of them. I think they're 0-4.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy. That's a good stat. I didn't know that. Okay. Well, I'm still doing it. 1 unit. Same with Carolina. Same with Dallas. If you're getting 10.5 in the NFL, I'm putting a unit on it. What about the Broncos? They're laying 5.5 against the Raiders. The total is 41.
Lean to the Raiders. I'm worried that Raiders are one of those teams that they may well look at this and say, organizationally, hey, we're probably better off losing at this point and trying to get a quarterback in the draft. But I know I don't want Denver off the perfect game at home. Lean Raiders.
I'll go. You know what? I'm gonna put a unit on the Raiders. Raiders plus 5.5, 1 unit, and I'll do it because I thought they played much better on offense. I don't know what some of their issues are on defense, but you're right. I think the Broncos come back to earth a little bit after that fantastic game that they had against the Falcons. I think they come back to earth a little bit. So 1 unit on the Raiders, getting the 5.5. What about the Niners, Steve? They're getting 2.5 in Green Bay. Total is 48.
So the Niners are really up against it. They need this game like blood. I can't see them getting blown out. So the Niners are my 4th teaser team that I'm going to be using in my round robin by 2s.
You and I are on the same page. So 2 units on all 4 of those teaser legs. We're round robining them, meaning we're using each of the different machinations. Detroit minus 1.5, Houston minus 2, San Francisco plus 8.5, and Miami minus 1 is what we got. What about that? Those are all best bets, by the way. That's a lot of units on Best Bet Watch. What about the Cardinals getting a point in Seattle against the Seahawks? Totals 47.5.
I don't have that many plays against DraftKings because I think their bookmakers did a really good job here. The markets pretty much pick them across the board. So I'm not going to lay 1 with Seattle, but my gut says Seattle has their mojo back. Huge upset win. I have to lean to Seattle, but I'm very impressed with Arizona, a team that now has a cupcake schedule after a really hard schedule. Lean Seattle.
Speaking of gifts and that Titans-Texans game that I'm calling for CBS Sunday, I'm looking at my beloved Game Time app right now. You can get in for $98, but there are some awesome seats for like $217, $246, all courtesy of Game Time Picks. This is actually another awesome Christmas gift, right? Gift for the holidays. You go through, you see what events are in your area, all in pricing. You have views from the seats, lowest price guarantee. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code MONEY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So again, create an account and redeem code MONEY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. And you can forward me the email and ask Steve a question. Ross@rosstucker.com. Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. It's a we thing. An experience best enjoyed together with good drinks and good folks. There's a reason why Smirnoff's the world's #1 vodka and an official vodka partner of the NFL. This year, there are more opportunities to watch football and make delicious Smirnoff cocktails than ever before. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Christmas, Smirnoff and the NFL are here with you every step of the way. Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka, distilled from grain, 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. Smirnoff, we do game days. Interesting, because I'm leaning Arizona because I think Seattle, they've been a roller coaster all year. Up, then down, up, then down. Seattle was up with the win over the Niners. I think they go back down. It's a lean to the Cardinals for me. Sunday Night Football, the Eagles are laying 3 on the road against the Rams. Totals 50.5, Steve.
So I've been on an island all year long rating, and I send out my power ratings at Fezzik Sports on X each week, and I'm super high on the Eagles. I've been that way. Once they got their wide receivers healthy again, they are just rolling. I'm going to take Philly. -3 is very unusual for me for 2 units, and I'm on the over. I see shootouts in primetime this week. 2 units on the over 50.
Wow. I can't do it on either one. I will lean to the Eagles, laying the 3. Last year, Steve, the Rams had to go silent count at home because there were that many Eagles fans at the game. Now, that was a 4 o'clock game. This is a night game. I don't know if there will be as many, but they had to go silent count at home. So I'll lean to the Eagles laying those 3 points that you talked about. I'm not going to go the over. The Eagles' defense has just been too good. I mean, their defense has been excellent. I cannot do the over in this one. What about Monday night? It's the Harbaugh battle. I didn't realize Sunday night game and Monday night game, both at SoFi, back-to-back nights. That's a real pain for the different TV networks with all the trucks and everything, to have all the trucks there. I mean, that means the Chargers, that means ESPN can't move their trucks in until Monday, I guess. They got to change the overnight. They got to change all of the field and everything. Wow. Ravens are laying 3. Totals 51, Steve.
You wonder if the station if arena manager's just gonna like sleep on a couch someplace overnight with the logistic nightmares. I am on the over here. The Chargers played a whole bunch of terrible offenses, Spencer Rattler for New Orleans, etc. And they finally played a team that can score in the Bengals, and it was a shootout. Here comes another shootout. I am 2 units on the over.
2 units on the over, I agree with, and I'm putting 1 unit on the Chargers getting the 3 points. I think it's a toss-up game. So if I can get 3 points, actually, you know what? 2 units. 2 units on the Chargers getting 3. I wish it was 3.5, but I'll take the 3. And we got a best bet on the over 51. I agree with everything you said, Steve. Other than that, good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money.
Thanks for tuning in to Even Money. Make sure to also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.